Porygon, the virtual Pokemon, is an incredibly unique specimen as it was the first 100% human-created Pokemon. Sure, there are others which humans and technology assisted with, like Voltorb, Magnemite, and others, but Porygon is truly the first completely artificial Pokemon and the only one able to survive in cyberspace. Apart from the Lavender Town music, Porygon is central to the biggest Pokemon controversy, if not the largest overall controversy of all time, and that is when it made its premiere appearance in the episode Electric Soldier Porygon, and due to the intense flashing lights, at least 600 Japanese children were the victims of seizures and rushed to hospital. This episode has never been aired on TV again, and has never even made its way to the Western world, places like Australia. It has been banned completely worldwide. Porygon was created by Dr. Akihabara, an eccentric and possibly insane researcher who was believed to have created the Pokemon transfer system. Apart from this episode though, the Doctor has never been shown. The Pokemon Shield PokéDex states, in recent years, this species has been very helpful in cyberspace. These Pokemon will go around checking to make sure no suspicious data exists. Now this entry indicates to me that from a technology point of view, Porygon may be the single most valuable Pokemon of all time. Its ability to freely revert to data and enter cyberspace means it could fully inspect and repair any computing software. This could be monumental in terms of research and development, but also in the interest of national defense. Imagine having a loyal companion that can ensure you have never been hacked or have had spyware placed within your network. And the entry from the primitive Hisuian Pokédex states, it has no discernible heartbeat and does not seem to draw breath, and yet it appears to function without issue. I cannot even begin to explain this utterly bizarre anomaly. Now this entry is incredible because, of course, they would have no idea how Porygon exists. It would make no sense to them as Porygon were artificially created roughly 20 years ago. But then how can they be appearing in ancient Hisui? Simple. These marvelous creatures are only possible to encounter in the space-time distortions, giving irrefutable proof that these strange events are not creating Pokemon, but summoning them from all across space-time. That's pretty cool. Porygon's number is 137 in both the National and Kanto Pokédex. Porygon is a normal type Pokemon with no secondary typing, and they will either have the ability Trace, a strange effect which will allow the user to copy an adjacent Pokemon's ability and use it as their own. However, this will work on all abilities apart from Flower Gift, Forecast, and another Pokemon that has the ability Trace. Or they could have Download, which is verbatimly described as raising either the attack stat or special attack stat by one stage depending on the foe's lowest current defensive stat. It will raise the attack if the foe's current defense is lower than its current special defense stat, otherwise it will raise special attack. Porygon can also have the hidden ability Analytic, which will increase the power of its move by 30% if the user is the last Pokemon to take their turn. This ability is obviously great for Pokemon with low speed. The two most powerful moves a Porygon can naturally learn are Tri-Attack, a special normal type with a power of 80 and an accuracy of 100%, which it will learn at level 45, and Zap Cannon, a special electric type attack with a power of 120 but an accuracy of only 50%. It can learn this at level 60. When a Porygon is transported to the ancient Hisui region, for some reason they're also able to learn the move Hyper Beam, a special normal type move with the power of 120 and accuracy of 90%. Porygon will learn this at level 47. However, the most powerful technique a Porygon can learn is Giga Impact, a normal physical type move with a power of 150 and accuracy of 90%. It can learn this from TM09. For all the Pokemon breeders out there, I have got some bad news for you. Porygon can't inherit any moves from its parents. Truly a fascinating Pokemon. Porygon has a base stat of 395, with special attack being the highest at 85 and speed being its lowest at 40. However, given proper training, reaching level 100 with perfect IVs and max DVs, and of course a favourable nature, then they could reach an HP stat of 334. Even maxed out, speed would still be their lowest stat at only 196. However, thanks to this, their ability Analytics is much more likely to be effective. Due to Porygon being made up of entirely computing code, they have no gender and cannot breed with most Pokemon. There is, however, one exception to this: Ditto. That's right, a little amorphous blob that can transform into anything. Porygon are able to breed with a Ditto. Porygon have a somewhat lower catch rate at only 11.9%, but this is only a base percentage and will be affected by many contributing factors. Porygon are what are classed as medium fast levelers, so they'll definitely benefit from a lot of training early on in your journey. They're of course a part of the mineral egg group, and on average, once you are carrying a Porygon Poké-Egg, you'll need to travel roughly 5,200 steps, or 3.8 kilometers. The average Porygon will weigh 36.5 kilos, or 80.5 pounds, and stand at 0.8 meters tall, or 2 feet 7 inches. These are based on Porygon living in the overworld and not within cyberspace. Porygon has two evolutionary stages, first being into Porygon 2, which is possible when you trade a Porygon while holding the item upgrade, and then again into Porygon Z, when you trade a Porygon 2 while holding a dubious disc. Defeating a Porygon in battle will provide one special attack EV. There are technically two forms of Porygon: the ones that live in the overworld or amongst humans and other Pokemon, and those that live in cyberspace. The key difference here is that those that live in cyberspace are not restricted to their physical bodies or limitations. This is most prominently shown in the banned episode where Ash, Misty, and Brock all enter cyberspace with a Porygon to try to rescue a second Porygon that was stolen by, you guessed it, Team Rocket. Porygon enhanced its size tremendously to the point where our protagonists were able to ride on its back. And as far as we've seen, the Porygon in the overworld do not have this ability. Porygon is exactly what you think of when you hear the term artificially created Pokemon. The design is so clearly human that it would be hard to believe that Porygon were a naturally occurring creature. They are primarily pink and blue in colour, with white eyes and black pupils. They seem to resemble a poorly rendered duck, but have a polyhedral head with, I guess the best way to describe it is a beak. Its eyes are essentially hexagons and have a polyhedral body with a light blue chest plate. On the other end of the body, we see what resembles a rectangular prism which acts as the tail. They've got two small triangular prism feet, one on each side of their body. Being completely artificial Pokemon, Porygon have no need to breathe or eat. Of course, if you do offer them food, they are able to eat it. And the part about breathing, this has led many to believe that Porygon could survive space travel if it wished. However, to date, the only space that Porygon has travelled is cyberspace, and I guess through the space-time distortions. Porygon have the move Conversion, which allows them to change their appearance at will. While most Porygon have the coloration of their head and body being pink, while their beak, feet, chest, and tail are all blue, this varies with their shiny variants, who have a light purple in place of the blues, and a dark, but somehow pale blue where the pink was. As of the most prominent of moments Porygon had ever been in was universally agreed to be banned worldwide, we do not have a lot of reference points for the type of personality that Porygon have. Although, just like with people, not all Porygon would share the same beliefs, or of course attitudes. In this banned episode though, we did see the Porygon alongside Ash, and it seemed all too happy to try to recapture Porygon Zero, that was the prototype that was created alongside it, and defeat Team Rocket. It's also completely feasible, if not a little bit depressing, that they don't have a personality of their own, and they can merely act and behave as they've been programmed to. As a passionate Pokemon lover and sympathizer, I don't believe this to be the case, but of course, that's just my hopeful headcanon. There are two well-known Porygon throughout the series, the first being Dr. Akihabara's, the creator of Porygon and the reason that this Pokemon has begun to flourish, although there's not a lot more to touch base on that hasn't already been mentioned above. And Blue, Pokemon trainer, champion, and now gym leader, had received a Porygon very early on in his journey from the Rocket Game Corner. In fact, it was his 6th Pokemon. Blue struggled to train Porygon, as it is widely known that Pokemon in the manga are much more difficult to train if you are not the one to catch them yourself. However, Porygon quickly became a core member of Blue's team. Porygon grew to trust Blue to the point where they were able to battle successfully countless times, until Porygon was able to evolve. Blue still currently has Porygon 2 in rotation. It is incredibly rare to find a Porygon in the wild, and almost as rare to find one in cyberspace. I mean, how would the average trainer manage to get themselves converted into data to search for one? As they are incredibly useful Pokemon to researchers, you can find them more frequently amongst research institutions. But if you are looking to add a Porygon to your party, then patience is key. You will more than likely be looking for a long time.